Hello and welcome to Pleasure Coma ASMR. Today I will be reading an article by Josh Richardson, How a Person's Aura Becomes Depleted with Unhealthiness. This electromagnetic field around every person is depleted in those that are unhealthy. Since ancient times, we have seen pictures and paintings of different spiritual leaders across various traditions. But one thing that is common among all of them is the halo that surrounds their head, which is known as the aura energy field. Many have dismissed auras, especially those professed to be experts in natural sciences. However, with the assistance of highly sensitive cameras, scientists have been able to photograph this field. Some experts believe could be a tool for use in the diagnosis and treatment of many diseases. This aura represents your physical, mental, emotional, as well as spiritual energies. The aura is often seen a mix of fine colored frequencies, where each color defines its own individual nature and characteristics. The vibration of this aura is very fine and subtle, so we need very fine instruments to detect it, and also to interpret the different colors and shapes in the aura, which can reveal us a lot of unsaid information. A study published in the journal Consciousness and Cognition explained the esoteric phenomenon of the aura and energy field of luminous radiation surrounding a person as a halo. The study explained that in neurological terms, synesthesia is due to cross-wiring in the brain of some people called synesthetes. In other words, synesthetes have more synaptic connections than normal people. These extra connections cause them to automatically establish associations between brain areas that are not normally interconnected, said Professor Gomez Milan, a lead author of the study. Many healers claiming to see auras of people might have this condition. Kirlian effects. The pioneer in this field, in fact, are the Kirlians. To this day, any halos around photographed objects are referred to as the Kirlian effect. Kirlian photography is a collection of photographic techniques used to capture the phenomenon of electrical coronal discharges. It is named after Simeon Kirlian, who in 1939 accidentally discovered that if an object on a photographic plate is connected to a high voltage source, an image is produced on the photographic plate. The technique has been variously known as electrography, electrophotography, coronal discharge photography, bioelectrography, gas discharge visualization, electrophotonic imaging, and in Russian literature, Kirlianography. Kirlian patented many inventions to photograph the glow and captured many images of it. Over time, they noticed that the images varied from person to person. Kirlian and his wife were demonstrated that their images showed a life force or energy field that reflected the physical and emotional states of their living subjects. These images could be used to diagnose illnesses. In 1961, they published their first paper on the subject in the Russian Journal of Scientific and Applied Photography. The aura of a person has been found to be directly connected to the level of health of the person. A person is considered to be healthy, and when their physical vitality, mental clarity, emotional well-being, as well as highly positive spiritual energies are relatively balanced. So a person who is healthy at all these levels has a bigger and brighter aura, and vice versa in the case of an unhealthy person. A faint glow around certain body parts may indicate the presence of a disease or disorder. From the intensity of the glow, the Kirlians learned to determine the total activity of the body, the efficiency of different treatments, as well as the state of organs and systems. Today, the GDV method is very well developed and can be used to conduct a general analysis of the whole body. The pictures are qualitatively and objectively interpreted, reducing the risk of medical errors. The effectiveness of different treatments can be detected individually. GDV is based on light emissions, which appear in high-voltage electromagnetic fields. If it were to become widely used in traditional diagnosis, with its help, doctors could not only easily carry out common diagnosis at a given moment, but also identify diseases which may occur in the future. This could greatly improve the quality of preventive care. The human aura can change dramatically and quickly. It was found that objects which are not alive do not change parameters of their aura more than 2%. Living objects, however, can change their aura field dramatically and quickly. This provides scientists with unique tools to study physics of life and consciousness using bioelectrography. For example, Professor Bunzin in Russia found that the response in Kirlian aura seems to proceed, appears soon or earlier than electric processes in the brain during a decision-making process. From his research presented in 2001 at the International Congress Science Information Spirit in St. Petersburg, it seems that a thought appears in the aura before any intellectual activity can be detected in the brain. Is our consciousness electrophotonic to begin with? It also appears that auras of people who interact with various objects such as drugs, crystals, minerals, colors, etc. may change significantly. Modern Kirlian equipment are capable to quantify these effects in terms of their influence on the electrophotonic glow. It seems that detailed functioning of every organ and health effects can also be determined from the recorder stimulated electrophotonic glow. All living objects show continuous changes in their aura. A major series of experiments of a team of scientists coordinated by Professor Korotkov in St. Petersburg, Russia, demonstrated that aura of the human body continues to change continuously for almost 72 hours after clinical death. It seems that, among other things, not only the time, but also the reason for the death can be determined on the basis of these changes. It is interesting to note that in nearly every culture on Earth for centuries, people observe a 3-day period between death of the body and burial. Slowly and gradually, as more research was done in this field of aura photography, different technologies were developed claiming to capture the human aura or the electromagnetic field. Now, to date, we have different systems like polycontrast interference photography, digital aura scanning system, resonant field imaging, which claim to capture the human aura and also help us in detecting the subtle imbalances in our bodies. More science is validating sensory activity and consciousness. Even though we are often consciously aware of our current emotional state, such as anger or happiness, the mechanisms giving rise to these subjective sensations have remained unresolved. Brilliant research by Finnish scientists have mapped the areas of our body that are experiencing an increase or decrease in sensory activity when we experience a particular emotion. Each of these areas also affects our aura. Each body area has a language as to what the organs do, the muscles, the nerves, etc. When a condition occurs in the body in a localized area, it's to help us discover what we might need to change in order to keep our homeostasis in our emotions, mental reasoning, and spiritual living. Needless to say that in traditional ancient Oriental medicine, the concept of the aura is well understood and commonly accepted. Eastern practices, both medical and spiritual, are initially directed at correcting the aura, the spiritual body, rather than the physical. Scientists such as Beverly Rubik have explored the idea of a human biofield using Kirlian photography research, attempting to explain the Chinese discipline of Qigong. Qigong teaches that there is a vitalistic energy called Qi or Qi that permeates all living things. Rubik's experiments relied on Konstantin Korotkhov's GDV device to produce images which were thought to visualize these Qi biofields in chronically ill patients. Vitalistic energies such as Qi and Prana exist beyond the natural world. The Princeton Engineering Anomalies Research PAIR program, which flourished for nearly 3 decades under the aegis of Princeton University School of Engineering and Applied Science, has also completed its experimental agenda of studying the interaction of human consciousness with sensitive physical devices, systems, and processes, and developing complementary theoretical models to enable better understanding of the role of consciousness in the establishment of physical reality. Everything is energy. Scientists and researchers today all around the globe have confirmed that the matter appears to be solid in reality is not true. The solid-looking matter is actually made up of pure energy, which is vibrating at a specific frequency, which gives matter properties like shape, size, texture. These solid-looking objects, like a pen, book, and even the molecules, atoms, and cells in our bodies, for that matter, are actually made up of vibratory energies, particles called electrons, protons, neutrons, and furthermore, tiny particles. So when these particles vibrate in their nucleus, a small electrical impulse is generated in our body. And according to the famous law of physics, when there is an electrical field around the body, a magnetic field gets developed automatically. So the tiny electrical impulses in our body results in the formation of a magnetic field around our body, which is actually known as the aura, the electromagnetic field of the body. Since everything in this universe is made up of the same constituent particles, electron, proton, neutrons, etc., that means everything has an aura. And if we keep on expanding these so-called elementary particles, we reach a point where we find nothing but pure energy vibrating at the very essence of these solid-looking objects. Everything in this physical universe is nothing but energy, which connects to everything in the universe. If we study our ancient Indian texts, especially the Yoga Sutras, we will come to know the subtle anatomy of our human chakra system, which is actually a very important aspect of our aura. Spiritually, we can say that aura is our very own soul nature. It reflects our innermost desires and feelings, emotions, etc. Aura is the layer of energy which interconnects all other subtle bodies and also acts like a shield covering and protecting our more refined, subtle bodies like the mental, emotional, and spiritual and astral bodies. Like for our physical body to survive and maintain its health, oxygen plays a vital role for our existence. Similarly, the pranic forces, which are called prana, is the subtle energy that is required by our more refined bodies to function and maintain a good health. Subtle bodies control our health in the physical. So if we want our bodies to absorb oxygen properly from the environment, we should keep our lungs healthy, thereby keeping our physical body healthy. Similarly, if we want our subtle bodies to function properly and to absorb the pranic energies properly, we need to keep our aura healthy. Like for our physical bodies, we do regular exercise to keep it healthy and working. We should also practice some form of energy exercise, which regulates the flow of pranic energies in our subtle bodies. Our subtle bodies, namely, are called the physical body, emotional body, mental body, spiritual body. The last is our astral body. So all in all, our aura is made up of 5 basic layers, out of which the physical body we're able to see with our naked eye because it vibrates at a relatively lower and denser vibrational rate, and the rest of our 4 bodies vibrate at a higher frequency. Even if the physical organ is removed from the physical body, its energy imprint is always there in the astral body. Most of the healing, which is intended to be sent on the physical body, is first received on this layer. The healing is done on the intended parts of this astral body, and then the new energy imprints, where the information is transferred down to each of the lower bodies until it reaches the physical body. Once the root of the disease is removed from the blueprints of our physical body, the symptoms appearing in the physical body start to disappear. The root of all diseases then is not in the physical body, but in the electrical, energetic body. And no disease can ever take place in the physical first, because it is translated from the energetic body. So in this way, energy healing sent by prayers, Reiki, intention, etc. is always first received on the outermost layer of the aura, our astral body, and then transferred to the other bodies. The most important purpose of our aura is to act like a vessel to hold all our bodies together, and also to act like a shield protecting us from unhealthy vibrations. So the stronger our aura is, the more protected and powerful we are. In time, a greater percentage of human beings will grow to adopt these concepts, since consciousness is now at a level on Earth where we can understand why these energies exist without rejection. That, in turn, will assist in the progression of health to such an extent that it will translate into a mastering of control on the subtle bodies that will no longer allow for disease in the physical body. But that is all for now, and you're listening to The Pleasure Coma ASMR.